fact, I had a popular commentator that told me flat out, if you try to move a bill that solves the border crisis during this presidential year, I will do whatever I can to destroy you. Because I do not want you to solve this during the presidential election. By the way, they have been faithful to their promise and have done everything they can to destroy me in the past several weeks.
That was me. You know what the best part about this, that is, maybe the worst part, is how whiny it was. I don't care that I made some senator mad again. Why do these guys whine? Why do men whine so much in this society? It's pathetic. Our men are little girls now. No wonder women aren't getting married. Joining me now, Terry Schilling, president of the American Principles Project, and a young lady who did get married recently. Congratulations to her, and Amber Duke, author of the book, The Snowflakes. Amber, you know what? I want to begin with you here. Don't you find this endless whining from men to be a turnoff?
It's so annoying. I cannot tell you how unattractive it is, and yet it's so common now. And to hear it from a politician of all people, I mean, Jesse, you're just a lowly right-wing blogger, and yet James Lankford, one of the most powerful people in the country, is complaining about what you said on your little right-wing blog. I mean, it really doesn't get any lower than that. It's just pathetic. And you know what? He has to answer for the fact that he sold out Americans by even negotiating with Democrats on the border in the first place. But then to come and trot out this horrific bill that increases green cards, does very little to actually secure the border, basically enshrines crisis level numbers into the calculus for whether or not to close the border, and not the entire border. Just anything outside of ports of entry, doesn't count on unaccompanied minors who can't be removed under this bill. It's just honestly pathetic, and he should be ashamed of himself. I said last week I was going to cyberbully him until he changed his mind, and he hasn't. So I will continue to cyberbully him.
I'm positive you will. I'm positive you'll be successful. Terry, you're excellent at this cyberbullying thing. Don't we need more of that for Senator Naked Ken doll like Lankford?
No, I think that's exactly right, Jesse. And this guy is trying to be like the new Ben Sass, which I don't know why the hell anyone would want to be the new Ben Sass. He was a terrible senator, got nothing done. He spoke eloquently, but he did nothing good. And listen, I've known about Lankford for a long time. He's been a pain in the ass. He's weak. He took over the Values Action Team in the Senate several years ago, and it was abundantly clear to me that he was not there to represent the social conservatives and the people trying to save the unborn and get people getting married again. He was there to castigate us and to attack us, to keep us in line on behalf of leadership. This is not a guy that's going to fix this country. He is going to keep driving it into the ground. And if you needed any more examples, I think this immigration bill is a perfect one.
Amber, Mitch McConnell, obviously he's been carrying a big stick in D.C. for a long time, major power broker in D.C. That's fading a bit now, but all the crap he's pulled recently, from the border bill, now the foreign aid bill, all this stuff, a lot of it seems like it might be aimed at his never-ending rift with Trump. I know he's a vindictive human being. Am I just seeing things, or do you put any credence to this?
I honestly think Mitch McConnell is just all about clinging to power, regardless of what it takes. It's possible that this has something to do with Trump as well. I wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely known to remember things, to hold grudges. Remember what he said about Harry Reid, of course, with the filibuster, and how that would come back to haunt him. And sure enough, years later, Mitch McConnell was there ready to strike. And you're right to bring up this foreign aid bill, right? The Senate, who routinely does nothing on behalf of actual Americans, decides to finally pull an all-nighter and actually work for their money. And what do? They pass a $95 billion foreign aid package, including another $60 billion to Ukraine, when we still have zero indication of what our end goal is, and zero indication that any of the $100 billion we've sent has gotten Ukraine any closer to securing any tangible victory in this war. It's very clear that this is at a stalemate. Why is the U.S. not encouraging Ukraine to go and sit at the negotiating table? Instead, they'll continue to sell out Americans and take away money that could be very well spent here and use it to help somebody else secure their border while ours is overrun.
Terry, senators like Josh Hawley, many others, the decent ones at least, although they all suck from time to time, they're all unhappy with Mitch McConnell. They're getting more and more bold about how unhappy they are with Mitch McConnell. But every single time I talk to one of these guys and I tell them, why aren't you running? We need you to run. I always get the navel gazing. Well, I mean, I really can't. I'm not really interested. Why do the good people not want to take over? All we have are losers like Thune and that Barnacle Cornyn and Tillis and all the rest of them. The good people never want to be in leadership?
No, listen, it's the same reason why so many good people don't run for office themselves, right? I mean, it's the egomaniacs that run for office usually, and I know that because my father, who was a member of Congress for one term, but I'm mostly kidding. But listen, this is a job that not a lot of people want. But I will say, as bad as Mitch McConnell is, he does represent the GOP senators that are in there. Most of them are weak. They are not creative. They are not disruptive. They want to go along to get along, and it's absolutely terrible. But I will say that, Senator Schmidt from Missouri this morning tweeted out, he pointed out that of the senators that are 55 and younger in the GOP side, 15 out of 17 of them voted the right way on this immigration packet, on this foreign aid deal that came up. And so his point was it's changing, but it's not changing fast enough. And that's really what we need to focus on. I don't know who the next majority leader will be, but we need someone that's a lot more aggressive, at least someone that's more politically smart, that knows how to win and not just, what's the point of winning elections, Jesse, if you're going to lose on policy? There's no point in that.
Amber, the name I keep hearing as a challenger to Mitch McConnell and the John Cornyn group of losers is Rick Scott. Now, I obviously, because I feel this way about pretty much every politician, have mixed emotions about Rick Scott. Should I be at all excited about the prospects of maybe Rick Scott taking over the Senate GOP?
I'm personally not very excited, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, I heard Rick Scott speak at the National Conservatism Conference last year, and to say it was uninspiring would be an understatement. I think he's a guy who sees where the new right is headed and is trying to sort of ride its coattails, but maybe doesn't really believe in any of it himself. And not to mention, he was in charge of trying to bring about a new donor base into the NRSC. And he ended up wasting millions of dollars on this text to voter program that accomplished absolutely nothing and helped drive it into the ground. So I haven't seen any evidence that he's some brilliant tactician or that he would end up doing a better job than McConnell has in his position. So I'm just not sold on Rick Scott at all.
Great. So he's unaccomplished and a loser. And so that makes him actually perfect for the Senate GOP. Amber, Terry, I love you both. Come back soon.